What do you need to know before you start writing your book? That's what I'm going to talk about in this episode. What do I need to know before writing my book? It's a question I get asked a lot. Well, my first question back to you is, why are you writing the book to begin with? The first thing you need to know is why you're writing the book. Are you writing it because you have a message that is in your heart and you just have to get it out to the world? Are you writing it because you want to leave a legacy, want to leave a story for your family that can be passed on through the generations? Or are you doing it because you have a business? A lot of reasons that you could write a book because you have a business. Maybe you want to establish yourself as an expert in your field, and having a book will give you a lot of credibility. Maybe you want to increase your authority. So you're already known for something, but you want to put some extra weight behind that and let the world know that you know even more about this subject than maybe they thought you did. Maybe it's just because, well, books can bring in money. And there's a lot of rabbit trails I can go down with that one for sure. Maybe it's just all about the impact. Or it's so you're trying to open some doors. With a book, it's one of the only ways you can get interviews on certain television shows and certain radios. So a book is a platform that will open other platforms for you. And another reason you can use it for your business is just to build your list. So there are a lot of reasons why you may be writing your book, but what will go into the book will depend very greatly on why you're writing it. So you need to know why you're writing this book. Once you know why you're writing the book, the next thing I would ask you is, how big do you want the book to be? Like, what does this book look like to you? A book, when someone says to me, I want to write a book, well, that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of people. So it's important to know things like the page count. How long do you picture this book being? Now, most people just go and they grab a book off their shelf and they say, like this, I want it to be just like this. I want it to be this size. I want it to be this many pages. So what is the page count? Well, this book here, this is my book, Beyond Boo Boo Kisses, that I wrote about our journey when our 4-year-old son was diagnosed with brain cancer. And this book is, I would say, an average sized book for most people. And it is 178 pages long. The size is 6x9 dimensions. And that's pretty average size when most people think of a book. This book, this was written by a client of mine. His name is Terry Wilson. And Terry created a webinar. It was actually a talk that he did for an online conference that he was holding. And he wanted to turn it into a book as a gift to all his attendees. And so this book, the recording size was about an hour long. And we turned it into a book for him. And this is 50 pages long. And it's also 6x9. So this gives you an idea, of what a 1 hour recording could turn into. Now, another common size book that people use is 5.5 by 8.5. It's a little bit different measurements than the 6x9. Also a very common size that you might have on your bookshelf. And here's the difference between how they look. So you can kind of see it looks a little smaller. Now, maybe you've got a lot to say. Maybe you're writing a textbook. This book here is really big. It's almost 600 pages long. That's a lot of information. You probably won't use anything that long, but that's why it's important to know and to think about this is, how long is it going to be? Because that's going to drive a lot of your decisions along the way, because you'll have goals for your writing, and you'll know when you're getting close to the end. And then the final thing I would ask is, how much of this do you want to do yourself? A lot of times when someone thinks about writing a book, they just think about what's inside. And they don't think about the outside. Needs a cover. The cover needs copy, needs a title. After you've written it, it probably needs editing, and there's a lot of steps to the editing process. After it's edited, it needs to be designed. It doesn't just appear magically inside the book all pretty. And so you need to think about, what parts of this do I want to do? What parts of this am I able to do? And what parts of this I might have to contract out for someone else to do. So those are the 3 things that'll help you decide how to manage your time and your budget so that you can get your book out into the world.